Good afternoon, our dear viewer. Thank you so much for choosing the national broadcaster. It is the 19th day of November 2022, a great Saturday. And starting off with our newscast, my name is Sandra Kahunde. Looking at a sad one, as we promised to bring you the updates as they'll be unfolding as far as the late Kawanga Semogerere is concerned. Now, top politicians in the country continue to pour heartwarming messages in respect to the fallen political icon and former Democratic Party President Paul Kawanga Semogerere. Described as a grandfather of politics of Uganda, the late Paul Semogerere left a legacy which politicians say should always be respected at all times. Dr. Semogerere died on Friday morning from his home in Rubaga, Kampala.
I had friends here on my 98 years birthday.
At the age of 90 years, Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogerere was one of the celebrated icons in the growth of Uganda's democratic journey since independence.
He has been an icon of peace. And if you talk about P.K. Semogerere, you are talking in the lines of the Mandelas of Africa. So he's done his best, especially during such hard times in the 80s when Uganda was almost blowing up.
Semogerere is one individual that understood what politics was all about. The politics was not about violence or self-seeking or visibility. Politics was just about bringing country first. And to say that you can't do it and go it all alone, that you needed everybody to move.
Even at the time of his death, the late Paul Kawanga Semogerere kept his nose to the grindstone in the political arena in Uganda as he championed a united forces for change, which is a strategy to bring together opposition members for a common goal.
A few days back, he called me and he could tell me a lot of how I needed to see that local governments are better in this Uganda. So today I'm a shadow minister for local governments, and a lot of credit goes to him.
But I know he died knowing that there are some of us who left the Democratic Party to continue to pursue change, which he also wanted.
Dr. Kiza Besije, the former Forum for Democratic Change party president, narrates how he met the late Semogerere after the NRA Bush War.
We were both at the Minister of Internal Affairs. I was his Minister of State. And we had a great working experience together. Of course, I was a young man without much experience, and I benefited greatly from his wide knowledge of politics generally and his wide knowledge of Uganda. And during that time, we had quite a lot of challenges. So it was a great pleasure to work with somebody of his experience and knowledge.
Other top politicians, including the current opposition leader, also National Unity Platform Party President Robert Kyagulanyi, have poured heartwarming condolence messages to the late Semogerere.
We thank God that we have seen you. Our grandfathers saw you, you inspired them. Our fathers saw you, you inspired them. We, the grandchildren, have seen you, you've inspired us, and our children have seen you. You will inspire Uganda for generations. We love you, Dr. Semogerere.
The Secretary General of the National Resistance Movement, Richard Todung, reminds the public how the Democratic Party gave a foundation to the birth of the current NRM, and as such, loss of a key player cannot go unnoticed.
That was when the Democratic Party election victory was tampered with by the Uganda People's Congress and Paul Mwanga. That brought back Obote II to government. And because of that, the National Resistance Movement, then the leadership under UPM, felt it that there was total unfairness against the Democratic Party. And because of that, our leaders went to fight.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
Relatedly, on the same conversation, Paul Kawanga Semogerere may be dead, but there is a lot to remember about him. From being Democratic Party president to a minister and presidential candidate in 1996, Semogerere retired from politics in 2005. Whatever is there to learn from his life and career is contained in this profile of his.
Whether Lule wants to be president, Benaisa wants to be president, Museveni wants to be president, who else?
The name Paul Kawanga Semogerere rings bells when one remembers the 1980 general elections in Uganda.
Semogerere wants to be president.
He came second in a disputed poll that saw 27 men, led by Yoweri Museveni, embark on a liberation struggle. A liberation struggle that ushered in a new government whose cabinet Semogerere joined as a minister.
That I will not directly or indirectly reveal any matters as shall come to my knowledge in the discharge of my duties and committed to my secrecy.
He is a man who saw it, internalized it, before he acted on it. His death is a culmination of a 90-year-old journey that began on 11th February 1932. This was in the present day Kalangala district in the Buganda region of central Uganda. The man who led the Democratic Party for 25 years was a product of St. Henry's College Kitovu, where he went for his high school. This was before he received a diploma in education from Makerere University in Kampala. He also studied politics and government program at Allegheny College in Meadville, Pennsylvania. The holder of a honorary doctorate from Syracuse University in New York is one of the leaders that have shaped Uganda's politics over the years.
I was a national champion, featherweight division.
As a boxer?
1951.
What?
Boxing, but I was very careful not to go professional in boxing.
Quite a rich political journey that saw him become a member of the Uganda Legislative Council from 1961 to 1962. Following the 1971 coup, Semogerere was in exile until 1979 when he returned. In 1980, Semogerere assumed leadership of the Democratic Party. He consequently became a presidential candidate in the disputed 1980 general elections, which were won by Milton Obote's Uganda People's Congress. Semogerere would become the leader of the parliamentary opposition from 1981 to 1985. This happened before being appointed Minister for Internal Affairs during the presidency of Tito Okello.
Paul Kawanga Semogerere being appointed a member of the cabinet.
Such ministerial portfolios were extended even after the fall of Tito Okello. With the triumphant liberation victory of Yoweri Museveni, who became president in January 1986, Semogerere became Minister for Internal Affairs from 1986 to 1988. He also served as Foreign Affairs Minister from 1988 to 1994, and then Public Service between 1994 to 1995. It was in June 1995 that he resigned to become a presidential candidate for the mainstream opposition. He would lose the same election to incumbent Yoweri Museveni in 1996. After his retirement from politics in November 2005, he was succeeded as DP party president by John Sebana Kizito, the then mayor of Kampala.
The interactions I'm having recently with many people give me even more encouragement.
Semogerere is remembered for bringing the first of the 5 landmark cases that outlawed the movement system, setting the stage for return of multi-party politics in Uganda. He was a family man and is survived by a wife and children. At the time of his death, Semogerere was a staunch Catholic believer. Henry Okrut, UBC.
We'll keep you posted in as far as that information is concerned, and may his soul rest in eternal peace. Now, in other news for the day, Vice President Jessica Alupo has urged the business community in India and Uganda to seize investment and business opportunities existing between Uganda and India to maximize value addition and mutual gains, and called upon them to take advantage of such engagements to expand partnerships. A vice president who was closing a week-long Afro-Indian summit at Speak Resort Munyonyo in Kampala said Uganda and India have enjoyed warm and cordial bilateral relations extending way back to 19th century, and gave reassurances of further and increased partnerships, which have over the years grown, encouraging the business community to further contribute to the four sectors of manufacturing, ICT, services, agriculture in Uganda.
Growth, investment, business partnerships, and job creation was the hallmark of the closure of the week-long Afro-Indian Summit. Several manufactured items on display and products from different factories gave the feel of the journey that Uganda has undertaken over the years, from largely an importing country to a productive country that Uganda is today. Therein, the role of the Indian community in Uganda's journey to development and self-reliance cannot be overstated. The summit signified Uganda's commitment to private sector development and a focus to further increase the promotion of Uganda's abundant investment potential. Vice President Major Retired Jessica Alupo, who toured the numerous stalls before eventually closing the one-week-long business summit, expressed her gratitude to President Yoweri Museveni for creating this peaceful environment that has enabled such a long and sustained growth in Uganda.
On behalf of His Excellency, the President of Uganda and the Government of Uganda, allow me to thank the organizers of the African Indian Summit and the business community of the two countries for participating in this historic forum. And I would like now to officially close the forum.
With deals worth over $300 million signed, socio-economic transformation and the journey to Vision 2040 is more realistic now that the total investments of Indian business community in Uganda stands at $1 billion. Honorable Anita, the Minister of State for Investment, thanked the Vice President for blessing the closure of the Afro-Indian Investment Summit, highlighting to her the importance of Uganda's efforts to return the departed Asians' properties.
8,063 assets or properties of the departed Asians. And that gesture alone has made many more Asians to come back to Uganda.
The Minister of State for Energy, Peter Lokeris, who described the President and the Vice President as developmental and focused, said Uganda was a country of incredible wealth which, if he combined, Uganda would see more light. The chairperson of the Indian Association in Uganda, Mohan Rao, said in marking 100 years, they are doing all this because Uganda is their home, and when home flourished of 100 years since the Uganda Indian Association was formed. Remarkable progress in business processes has since been realized, most notably a one-stop center for investors across all government services.
We do apologize for that mishap. Now, moving on, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, has completed a pastoral visit to Kapchorwa-based Sebei Diocese. While in the area, Kazimba Mugalu expressed concern over the primary teachers' college in Kapchorwa that has been closed and no alternative training institution provided. The Archbishop was speaking at St. Peter's Cathedral in Kapchorwa, where he was a chief celebrant at the highlight of his first pastoral visit.
The Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, His Grace Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, now in Sebei district on a pastoral visit, has toured a number of church-founded institutions, including Sebei School of Nursing and Midwifery, All Saints Primary School for Orphans and Vulnerable Children, and Uganda Christian University, Kapchorwa campus. The Archbishop was disappointed about the closure of Kapchorwa Primary Teachers College, one of the church-founded institutions in Sebei Diocese.
I'm not happy that they are closing our teachers' college. The TTC, I want to make an appeal to the government to revisit that decision. You cannot close a private teachers' college in this region. It's only one training college in this area. That is wrong. Whoever came up with that decision is wrong. And as an Archbishop, I'm specifically very sad that whenever they close primary teachers' colleges, they close those of Anglican Church. That is wrong. That one should be revisited. There is a lot of imbalancing, and for that particular thing, I wasn't happy.
The Archbishop also urged the Sabine people to abandon the medically and psychologically harmful cultural practice of female genital cutting in the region.
FGM, the Lord is whispering to us. It's a barbaric way of treating our daughters. Those who are doing FGM, please heal. Ask that person near you. Are you hearing what the Archbishop is saying?
The service was also a Thanksgiving celebration of 7 years of Episcopal service of the Right Reverend Paul Masaba Kipto as second Bishop of Sebei Diocese. Some of the landmark achievements is the construction of the multi-billion cathedral, which has reached roofing level. Bishop Masaba announced that friends from the United States had committed to build a hospital in Sebei Diocese to support health services in the region. The Thanksgiving was attended by the rector of Christ Church, Montgomery, in Alabama, USA, who delivered a gift of all the required iron sheets for roofing the cathedral. Emmanuel Cheror, UBC TV News, Kapchorwa.
Parents have been advised to talk to your children about sexual issues to avoid consequences of associated moral issues. Now, Raising Teenagers Uganda team leader Nankunda Hope was recently speaking at an overview seminar on the renewed national strategy to end child marriage and teenage pregnancy in Uganda.
Child marriage now! Well, child marriage is disastrous. It's inhumane and it's a human rights violation. And I want communities to understand that the fact that girls are married off young is wrong. And they need to be held accountable. They need to know that that is defilement. That is criminal. When a girl is married off young, she's not able to be in school, she's not able to make informed decisions, she's not able to get the economic muscle to help her thrive in life. And we need to break that. We need to change that.
But let it be a choice than having a conversation of saying that everyone should not go to school. If we are to break this stigma against these issues, then we must have them stay where people are seeing them. We can't break a stigma which people are not seeing.
I feel like she can actually deliver the baby, and after delivery she goes back to school without anybody getting to know her story, so that she's safe from all the stigma and the trauma that she might face.
And one way, and the only way actually, to fight child marriages is to keep girls in school. If girls are not married, if the girls are not in school and are married off young, that they give birth to more children, they will not be able to access family planning, and that will cause more poverty levels for the country. We'll have more children dying off young, we'll have more children not being in school because their mothers were not educated.
Child marriage is not a one-person's show. It is a multi-sectoral important issue that must be work done with different stakeholders at parliament level, at ministry level, at CSO level, and even the community. And we are ready to move on with the other key stakeholders to ensure that the renewed national strategy to end teenage pregnancy and child marriage is implemented, is disseminated, and that children in different communities across the country are protected and supported to achieve their full potential.
Well, we now settle for a break. When I return, we shall be looking at how far the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has moved on or implemented the program to do with the social protection, the social and central protection program in regards to those who are aged above 80 years. When I return, keep watching.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165 *77 hash or use the Momo app to register.
Get value for your money by choosing the right paint. With Global Paints, you don't just paint, but paint for generations to come. Make Global Paints a paint of choice and make your building a paradise. We have weather coat emulsion, undercoat emulsion, silk vinyl emulsion, flat emulsion, super gloss, and high gloss. Global Paint, a reliable product.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone, the most affordable smartphone in Uganda. You get to enjoy free 1 GB for 1 whole year. My Airtel 4G smartphone, your best value for money. Visit the nearest Airtel outlet today and get one at only 250,000 Uganda shillings. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe? That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 20th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying. It is a lunchtime news coming your way this Saturday, the 19th of November, 2022. Now, from other updates for the day, before we let you go enjoy your afternoon, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development says there is need for more funding towards a social protection program aimed at aiding older persons that have reached the age of 80 years and above. During the celebration to mark 12 years of a tripartite partnership on social protection between Uganda, the UK government and the government of Ireland, Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development Betty Amongi said there is a need for increase of social protection on the budget. He thanked the donors for their contribution to this program and for more than a decade.
And me, as a Minister of State for the elderly, I'm happy that these funds are there. And I'm happy that my older persons are benefiting. Like they said, it is 25,000 per month. So like I said, it's not how much, but it's what you do with your money. And I do monitoring, I do evaluation, and I see our old people are happy. They have hope. have something to look forward to.
So social protection coverage still remains low, so we need to scale it. So we will remain committed in advancing scaling up of social protection to mitigate the challenges. We will continue to champion the cause and ensure that progressively we increase the budget. And therefore, I want to thank the donors and partners. I want to thank you for the long journey that we've come through together and making social protection a reality. I assure you that there is room for more collaboration in this area.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been on a journey together for the past 12 years, and one which has transformed the lives of over 400,000 Ugandans and their households. We thank you for joining the United Kingdom and Ireland in this venture, and we hope that the Senior Citizens Grants will continue to provide vulnerable elderly Ugandans, our grandparents, our great-grandparents with vital support. Thank you.
The program we are discussing here is looking at those 80 years and above. Now that does not mean somebody who is 75, 72, 68 is not vulnerable. They qualify. Because now we are talking about 300,000 people. And yet we have so many who need the support. We have seen the evidence that this program has delivered and improved the lifestyles of those who have benefited. You would want to have more people benefit from it. But as we've said, how do you also support a young man, a young girl who is 27? Because social protection is not about age only. It's also about the socio-economic conditions some people are in.
It's those people who were registered wrongly and those who were not captured during the registration exercise. I don't know what plans you have now, because that is the cry of those old persons, wherever you go.
The bigger challenge, as you have mentioned, and which has been recognized in the room, are those who have national IDs. You are 90, but your ID says you are 60, even you are 55, and you have missed on the program. That exercise you have agreed, and the strategy and the concept evolved, that we need to assist those groups.
How do we eliminate ghosts in our systems? I want to link this also to the work that NIRA is doing countrywide. How do we get particulars of every Ugandan, young or old, records that are reliable or data that can be used severally?
It's a wrap for now. More news will be coming your way later on in the day. Keep watching UBC. My name is Sandra Kahunde. Be blessed as you enjoy this lovely Saturday. Thank you so much for watching.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.